No, it's definitely whatever.
This is, yeah.
Whatever. What is that song? I want whatever this is. Isn't that like a Zach Brown band song? You got whatever it is. The makes you down. Y'all country fans will know what I'm talking about.
Zach Bryan?
No, Zach Brown band.
I don't know.
Because you got whatever this is. It is. Something like that.
Emily singing country is kind of wild.
Well, you know, I did grow up in Arkansas. And
yeah, but
I grew up on that boat life, that lake life. And Zach Brown band is that's part of it.
You're not wrong. But I really do feel like Emily on the country scene is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
I think that song
right.
did come out though, like 10 plus years ago. You got whatever it is.
You keep saying the same words,
Dude,
and it's not giving me nothing.
Hold on, let me find it.
It's giving me nothing.
Zach Brown band, whatever it is. It's literally called Whatever It Is.
Oh yeah, I know it.
She got whatever it is. Blows me away. But I couldn't find the words to say.
I do know a song.
That's probably about all we can play without getting copyright.
We probably will. I do know that song, but the rendition that you did just wasn't ringing a bell to me.
Yeah, because I think I said, I got whatever it is.
Yeah, but I don't think it was on the same tune as that.
You probably not.
It might have been. Honestly, okay, obviously, as you can hear, I'm sick. So, like, my brain just is also not functioning. Not working.
And you know what's so crazy is, like, I say this every time I get sick in my own brain to myself because I think I have a bit of mental illness and I talk to myself often. But I say this in my head every time I get sick and I'm like, damn, I really don't appreciate the times when I'm not sick. Because the moment you get sick, it's like, man, I wish I was healthy again.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's how it is for everything.
Yeah, it's like, remember when I could swallow and it didn't hurt, or how effortlessly I could like breathe through my nose?
Yeah,
like, that's
and then when you
worst.
get the gust of wind in your nose when you're sleeping and it like chokes you up and it's like
yes, and it's just like dry as fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's like the Sahara Desert going down your nose.
No, it's more like right now, like the thought of having to process anything in my brain or make a decision, it's not happening.
Good thing we're recording today.
I'm gonna say it. Have sex with a Scorpio.
I could glute bridge your dad. I'm naked. Hold on.
We will be flicking the beans to that.
But she's tatted and I take meth. Is somebody in your house right now?
But you know what? Fuck your ass.
Yeah, I had sex last night.
You can make your own money. You can literally have your own job of your dreams. You can own your own house. You can own your own car. You can pay all your fucking own bills. So what is that man? That man is sex and a best friend and that's it.
I heard nothing but the truth.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, at least my voice is not like yesterday.
Yeah.
I sounded yesterday like I would fucking smoke a pack a day.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And now you sound like you smoke like a half pack a
yeah,
day.
it's not great.
Which, okay, for reference, I'm not a cigarette smoker. Is that a lot?
Okay, wait, that's a lot. Yeah, pretty sure.
A pack? How many's in a pack? I could not even tell you.
I think it's 12.
Oh. But like, how many times are you hitting? Like, you know what I mean? Because like, I feel like vape users, it's like they're constantly doing it all day, every day.
No, because
so
actually,
like with a cigarette,
a vape. Actually, you're technically smoking more nicotine in a vape. Like
right. So
consistently.
like with a cigarette, I feel like in order to,
well, because like you have to actually go outside and like be in the cold or like whatever. Like there's more of an act to like do it. Where like vaping is so accessible.
Yeah.
But yesterday, literally, it sounded like I smoke a couple packs a day. I was bartending, which should have not been, but what was I gonna do at that point? Like no one's gonna fucking take the shift.
Yeah.
So I went. One of my first customers, he was like, "Hey, like I'm actually about to go to like this divorce party tonight." I was like, "On a Monday night? That's kind of wild, if you ask me."
That's
like,
the most adult thing you've ever heard of.
Wild.
A divorce party on a Monday night.
On a Monday night?
Crazy.
Like, what do you do? At least give it a Friday. At least get a little tipsy. And he was like, "Well, he's like, can I buy a cigarette from you?" And I said, "Oh, contrary to the way that my voice sounds right now, I don't actually smoke cigarettes."
Wait, that's like the biggest insult ever.
No, he genuinely.
If somebody thinks you smoke cigs, like
he genuinely thought he like asked me. He was like, I'll give you like $5 for a cig, and I was like, I don't smoke cigs. I said, but I could ask around, and like a couple of people there do.
Yeah.
But a lot of them just smoke vapes.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that smoke cigarettes weren't there, but I still asked because like they all go out. You know what I mean? Like you might have a pack for whatever fucking reason. And the girl who also smokes them wasn't there yet. And so I walked around. I was like, "Hey, you guys got cigarettes?" They're like, "You're gonna smoke a cigarette?" Because like I don't even fucking smoke a vape. They were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No." That man wants to give you $5 for a cigarette. And I walked up and he's like, "I swear." He's like, "I'll give you $5." I was like, "Sir, I literally don't smoke cigarettes."
Also, like, how bad do you need a cigarette to be like, $5 to your bartender?
He asked me multiple times.
That's
I was like,
wild.
"Sir, my ears are clogged.
Yeah.
I can't hear shit.
Yeah.
I'm sick as fuck. I don't smoke anything. Well, I smoke weed. That's about it. Like, that's it."
Oh my God.
It was so funny though, because he asked me so many times, like he wasn't convinced that I didn't actually smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
I was like,
which also, like, no offense if you're a smoker, like that, do what you want with your life and your body, but you can tell when somebody smokes cigarettes, not by their voice, but by their fucking face and their skin.
You could look at me
and
right
so,
now
like,
that I'm sick. Like,
so,
I
like,
don't look.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you obviously don't have like the features of a smoker.
Right.
Like, you don't have like the face of somebody who our age has been like consistently smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
you would look very different if you did. So like, that's also insulting to be like, "No, I don't," and him be like, "Are you sure?"
He literally asked me like multiple times. Like, he did a double take on that. He was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
And I kept saying like, "No, contrary to the way that I sound right now,
Mm-hmm.
buddy, I ain't your girl."
Yeah. I got a coworker that smokes. I mean, this guy definitely smokes a pack a day, because every single time I'm in the office, like, I swear to God, he like leaves like every 30 minutes to go outside and smoke a cigarette. And I don't think he's just like, you know, putting it out, bringing it back in, then relighting it. I'm assuming he's doing a new one every time. But that man, every time he walks in the office, it's like, boom, you get hit with that smell. And his voice is crazy.
I mean, you could. A lot of people do. Like when they're drinking, I've realized, is like they'll like smoke half of it, put it out, and then go smoke the other half like an hour later.
Yeah. Which is weird, because what do you just put it in your pocket?
No, there's like holders, or you just like set it on a brick.
Yeah. I don't know. This man, like, he walks in the office and it's like, "Oh, Joe's here."
I don't like now that it's like 2024, you know?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to come in the office smelling like that?
Well,
Like the way that vapes are and stuff now, like I feel like it's like so
he's like
glorified
really old.
No, I know that. I've met the man. Like it's very glorified to, I think, like have vapes now, because like, like you don't smell that. It's like not a common thing. Like
I feel like, regardless of how you feel about cigarettes, everybody doesn't really care about vaping,
right? Like when
it's
somebody,
like not affecting you.
Exactly. When somebody does smoke a cigarette, like it's now so potent.
Yeah,
because like it's not normal.
Like unless you're in Europe, it's not really cool.
I love the smell of it in Europe. I'm not gonna lie. It's like something about it just feels right,
because it's like, this is appropriate. But something about a cigarette in America is just always going to be trashy.
No, when everyone smokes their vapes at work, like the one girl that I work with, I love her to death, but God, she is a chain vape smoker. Like, they're all fiends for them. They're always like, "Oh, let me hit yours."
Well, especially like in that
so
environment
bad.
when they're probably like not eating enough throughout the day.
It's
they're probably like cracked
stressful.
out on Adderall. Like, the vape is just like that next level of like stimulation and to get you through the day.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was like in college. I was never like hyper addicted to the point of where I was like, I had to rebuy a vape the moment it was dead. It just like wasn't that deep for me. It was like one thing that I didn't have like a hyperfixation on, weirdly. But there was times where it was like, if I was like in the library and I was studying for like hours and hours on end, taking Adderall, if I didn't have my vape and like fucking, this is so embarrassing, but we drank Rockstar Energies. That's so 2010s though. That's so 2010s.
Never on the Rockstar trend.
No, we would drink the it was like the 0-calorie Rockstars. We would have those, chiefing our jewels, and like cracked out on Adderall.
Ew,
no food.
Your platinum blonde hair.
No, dude.
You were a look.
Dude, and I looked like I was 42. Like, my body was looking like I did all of those things. But so I feel them on that, being just like chain smoking your vape all day.
They do. They let their vape charge for about 2 minutes, and then they're like, like immediately. But anyway, what I fucking hate about the vapes, since I don't vape, like, I don't really give a fuck if you do. Honestly, if I have a little bit of alcohol in me, pass it here.
Same.
But
well,
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but because that's anytime we ever vaped together, we were drunk.
Yeah.
But
I bought a vape a couple times when I was drunk. I'd go into one of those like sketchy fucking vape stores in like downtown, walk in and just like be like, "What's the best one you got?" And he's like, "Oh, it's cotton candy, rainbow, watermelon,
like,
sour."
solid.
And I'm like,
"Give it to me.
Give me 3."
No, literally. Anyway, so we're always like be in the office, and like I wear contacts at work most of the time.
Gross.
And their vapes dry out my fucking contacts. I'm like sitting there like itching, my eyes are like fucking sandpaper at the point because like my contacts are so dry. And I'll at one point like yell at them and be like, "Stop."
Yeah.
Literally stop.
Yeah.
Like I can't like open a door, go outside, go somewhere else. But to be honest with you, I can't fucking see.
You know, it's like the biggest ick from vaping is like when somebody's vaping and you're in conversation and then they're like answering your question or they're like saying something, but they're exhaling at the same time. So they're like, "Yeah, so I was doing this." And I was like, "Ugh, just fucking take a second, bro."
And they're talking to you.
Yes.
And that's what it gets in my eyes. And
like,
literally now
put the vape
I
down.
I look at them. I'm like, turn the other way.
Yeah.
Please, dear God. Like, I need to be able to see.
Yeah.
I don't have glasses with me.
Speaking of like eyes and like glasses and shit, do you want a new fear unlocked?
Not really. No. I feel about that. No.
So
I'm going to get it anyway.
Well, I'm going to tell you because it has nothing to do with you right now. But if you decide one day to get LASIK or you're a candidate for LASIK.
My mom has LASIK.
Yeah. So I saw this video on TikTok and it was this girl and she got LASIK in 2020 and her doctor was like, "Yeah, you're a candidate. You're good to go. Like whatever." And so she's like, "Great." And so like for the first 2 years, it was fine. And then she developed like chronic dry eye to the point of like her eyes literally look like bloodshot, like she's been crying, like whatever. And then she went to a new optometrist and they were like, "You were never a candidate for LASIK. Like that, they should have never," because she has astigmatism and so it like causes your corneas to be shaped weird. And the doctor cut too much of her corneas off, so now her corneas are so thin they're not protecting her eyes against like wind. And she literally said like if somebody like walks by her, it feels like shards of glass are going into her eyes from like the air hitting her eyes. And so for the rest of her life she has to live like that. And I guess it's 1 in 1,000 people have some horrible reaction like that or like get blind. And like 1 in 1,000 seems like a lot, but if you think about the population of the world, that's a very high percentage. I mean, like for like bad shit to happen for a surgery that's like not dire.
Yes and no, because the thing is she wasn't already a candidate. But if she had been a candidate, she would have had no problem, guaranteed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like the fact that the doctor didn't even really like check, like it wasn't on her.
That's the problem that I have with doctors. They do a lot of shit that they shouldn't be doing simply to make money. Like, I mean, you know, I have a friend who like had surgery who like definitely shouldn't have fucking had it.
Right.
Or like, I don't know. I don't really fuck with doctors like that. Like, it's just like really scummy.
Yeah, especially for like some like, not that this is a cosmetic thing, but it's something that you could go without technically. You know, like you could still wear glasses or contacts.
It's more like the convenience of
it. So like also for something that's literally not necessary to live, and they still were like, "Yeah, it's fine." Yeah. And so like literally she's our age, and so for the rest of her life she like has like, she's like, every time I like walk out of my house, it's like shooting pain in my eyes constantly because of the wind and,
I would
like,
be out
air.
here wearing goggles
Literally. And she has blue eyes too, so like she already has very light features. So her eyes, she was like, everybody always asks me if I've been crying or if I'm high like all the time, and she's like, "No, my eyes are literally just so irritated because my corneas are so thin."
I would be wearing goggles.
Yeah, and her vision's gotten bad because her corneas are getting damaged.
She's probably gonna go blind.
Well, she's already wearing glasses again, and it's like she's taking some medication to like slow the process down, but there's like no cure for it. Like she can't like just regrow her corneas. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, my mom had LASIK.
So did mine, and so did my brother. Like I know so many people have had it.
Yeah, but
also they all can't see it now again. Like they all wear glasses.
Yeah, like she definitely could like redo it again, but she's not going to because she's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I just thought that was insane because I saw it on TikTok, and it's just such a common procedure that like I don't think the negative side effects are ever really talked about.
Yeah.
And then all the comments under it were like all these other people will be like, oh my God, my best friend had it and now she's blind in both of her eyes because like it had this like adverse reaction to it and whatever. And this other person said the same thing, but they had to get like their eyes like surgically like shut because like something happened and it was like, I don't know. It was crazy. Like all the comments, I was like, Jesus Christ.
That is kind of
and
scary.
eyes are like something that like for me freak me out like to talk about or to read about. And so I was reading these in my stomach. I was like, oh, I was like, I can talk about any surgeries all day, but something about the eye is like, so like I can feel that pain when she's like, they're so dry. It's like burning.
I feel like until my eyes like it gives you headaches. Like
yes.
I'm irritated as fuck all the time.
Yeah.
No, at work I have to take my glasses with me because like they get with like all the oils and stuff from like
I can't imagine
like the kitchen. And then like also there's like the long hours and like not sitting or eating properly and all that stuff. Like my eyes will get dry because of my contacts and like I'll have to take them out.
Yeah.
Like legit, I'll have to wear glasses like half the time now because it's like it gets so irritated and it's like not fun.
My mom has like chronic dry eye and so she has to do like
I have like drops.
Yeah, she has like medicated drops and she has this thing and she said the best thing for it, she's like the drops are fine but they're not like they don't help that much, but she has this like heated eye mask that she wears. I forgot what it's called, but you like put it in the microwave and then she wears it for like a couple of minutes, like 2 or 3 times a day. And she's like, that is the only thing that gives me relief because it basically like causes your tear ducts to produce like tears and shit. And yeah, so I was like, you should get one of those. I think you can get them literally off of Amazon.
No, I have eye drops that like work pretty well. And then my contacts are like special, like I have to use one a days because they stay like lubricated enough and then they're not like irritated or get folded or anything like that. Like I like genuinely cannot wear any other type of contact or else like my eyes like reject them. It's horrible because like I've tried so many different types of contacts and like this until I got ones that were one a days and then they're extra lubricated for dry eyes or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I feel like I have dry eyes, but then when I went to the optometrist they were like, no. I was like, okay, never mind. But fuck me then. Okay. I was like, okay. But they kind of burn sometimes. And they were like, it's probably just screens. And I was like, oh, good.
Good to know.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my eye facts of the day from optometrist Emily. Yeah, get your eyes checked. That's one thing that I do not fuck with considering I only have one good eye. You should go get your eye, especially if you've never been, because there's some people who like because they have good vision have never been to the optometrist before. You still should go, like go get them checked out because like you never know like what's actually happening behind them and shit.
I just got my health insurance back.
Hey, so, 2024 off to a bang.
Yeah,
let's
so
get
I just got
it.
health insurance again. So now I'm like, I need all the appointments, like the eye doctor.
I don't take advantage of my insurance, and I really need to.
The eye doctor, and I need to go to the dentist again.
Oh, I love the dentist.
So
I definitely have an appointment coming up at some point. I feel like it's been close to 6 months.
Yeah, so I'm adulting again. I have that going for me. Leo has a haircut at the end of the month.
Nice.
Like I did actually. My cat, like, okay, listen, everyone who's listening. Leo, to me, is the cutest thing ever. And he is a long-haired Siamese cat. But that motherfucker, his hair is literally everywhere. And, like, I brush him. I do all the things. But because his hair is so long right now, it's so matted. And, like...
Yeah. It's like when he grooms himself, he kind of just, like, mats it up.
Yeah. And, like, it's, like, right underneath, like, his, like, chin area because like that's where he grooms the most, and like I try to brush it out but like he doesn't let me, so now I have to go get him cut and he's gonna hate me. Yeah, but that's okay. I love him.
Whatever, it's fine. Honestly, like the thing about pets, it's like all these people have like judgments towards pet owners or like, oh, you should do things this way, you should do things this way. I saved this bitch. She could be out on the street. I'm gonna do whatever I want as long as you're not fucking beating it or like not feeding it or whatever. Like it's you're doing better than what its life would be if it was on the street.
Leo lives a great life, to be honest with you. He lives a very fantastic life. It's just has some mats, you know. That's all. Are you excited to be like a step cat mommy?
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous for my allergies, to be honest, but so for the listeners, my roommate has 2 cats and I'm like very allergic to cats, But her cats are very much like it's not like Kellen's cat, where Kellen's cat like comes and greets you and like wants to cuddle and snuggle. Her cats are like normal, where they just like kind of hide all the time. So I don't feel like it'll be too bad with like, because my issue is like I can't say no. Like I can't just like, if you come up to me and you want me to pet you, I can't just ignore
you're obsessed.
you.
Like you see Leo and you're like,
yeah, because like I love animals, so like I can't just not. But what I forget about every time is like touching my face or my skin, because immediately if I touch my eyes, it's like over until I can like use like water to like flush my eyes out, or my skin, like I'll get like hives and stuff from certain cats. It just depends. His long hair doesn't really bother me, but yeah, I'm excited to have animals in the house though. But I'm also like my roommate is going to be working like more in the office, and she was like talking about, she was like, I am going to be a little bit jealous of the relationship you're going to develop with my cats while I'm not at home, and I really will be sad if they start liking you more than me. And I'm like don't worry, it's not like I'm going to be like,
no, because honestly I feel like for you, like if you're working from home and you're in your office, like you're gonna close the door, because like you don't want to have them come in,
or if they're in, like they're like just gonna chill. I'm not gonna be like, come sit on my lap.
No, they're not gonna give you the option. That's one thing about a cat. If they want attention, they're gonna get it.
Right.
So like Leo, like he could be minding his own business. He could be actually acting like a cat and like hiding underneath something or whatever. Because like Leo honestly acts like a dog. Like he's all up in your shit.
Yeah.
But on the rare occurrence he's acting like a cat and he's hiding, I could be like sit down and start like editing something, working on my computer.
Like the moment you actually
sitting
are busy,
on the keyboard,
like
they will do it. They will do it. It's just how cats are.
Yeah. So, but I am excited to have cats in the house. But one thing I was thinking about is like the weekends when like she's gone or something and the cats are still there. I feel like when I'm asleep and if I hear them like running around, it's gonna trip me up for a while. Like I'm gonna think there's like an intruder.
Not even when she's not there.
Yeah.
Because they're loud.
Right.
Because if a cat wants you to wake up, bitch, you're waking up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like clockwork, 7:15 every fucking morning. And like the way my job is, like I get home at 3 or 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to bed till 5. So 2 hours into sleep, like I'm actually asleep.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he's acting a fool. He wants his wet food. No.
Mm-hmm.
Get on my schedule.
Yeah.
Get on my schedule. I'll kick him out. But at least they're not going to be in your room.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm moving not this weekend, but the next weekend. And we take over the lease on Friday. So I'm going to go and take a bunch of measurements and shit, because I don't know how big my current room is. And I'm looked literally everywhere for the like floor plan. It will not tell me anywhere like what the current dimensions are of like my bedroom I have at my apartment, because I'm trying to compare it for size.
Right.
And when I toured our house, there was no furniture in it, so like I couldn't get the vibe. And I know the dimensions of the room, and then according to Google, my bed is going to be a quote tight squeeze. And so now I'm stressing out because I'm like, what even can I put in here? Is it literally just going to be my bed? Which that's fine, because I'm gonna have like another room, but the other room's the exact same size, and I was planning to put a day bed in there, so when I have guests it can like pull out into like a queen size bed or something, so like there's room. But now I'm like, well fuck, like I don't know, I'm like rethinking all of that, and I'm kind of at this point where I feel like I just need to go in there with my tape measure and like scope it out.
I need to go in there with my tape measure,
literally like Bob the Builder that shit. But yeah, I'm excited. But it's also 3 stories because it's like a townhouse. So it's like skinny but tall. So moving wise, me and my family, like my mom and my dad are coming down, and we plan to just like do it ourselves. But I called my dad yesterday. I was like, we need to hire like somebody to help us with this, because I'm like, you're old. My mom is really short. So like height wise, it's awkward to carry things up and down stairs with people of different heights. My wrist, I've been having this issue for like the past month. I thought it was carpal tunnel. I think I have like arthritis. Like I'm developing arthritis, which is crazy because I'm 26.
Yes, but no, because of the way that we use phones now.
No, like, literally. And it's like really bad. And like when it flares up, it's like to the point of like I can't even hold, like I pulled out a sheet pan from the oven and I dropped it. And there was literally maybe a quarter of a pound worth of stuff on it. And I dropped it on the floor because like my wrist just gave out. And I was like, I'm not going to be a big help with this move because like this is unpredictable. I don't know when it's going to start acting up. And we're getting a U-Haul to like do my stuff. And through a U-Haul's website, you can like rent a guy for like $55 an hour.
Rent a guy?
Literally, like, so we're renting 2 guys, I think, for like, I don't know, it'll be a couple $100, but way cheaper than doing like a moving company or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It should be stress-free, but also
moving isn't stress-free.
So stressful.
It's not stress-free, but I feel like you're going to be in a better place. You're in a bigger area. You're going to be.
Yeah. I'm just excited to be like inspired by my space again because I've been in this very like creative vibe recently, but I'm also like in my apartment right now. It's just not really like practical for that. And so like I'm just excited to have like separate spaces from like my living and my like working and my like bedroom.
Yeah.
Like it's all going to be separate, which will be so nice to have.
No, for sure. That's what honestly like I do like about having my house when I moved from my apartment to my house.
Yeah.
Was like my apartment was like everything's in the same area. Like my working out if I did it at home, like sleeping, chilling, cooking, eat, like all of it happened in the exact same area.
Yeah.
And then when I moved here, I was like, wow, I can have different places for different things, and it's kind of nice. Like,
yeah, no, it's so nice, and so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm just stressed about like the logistics of everything. But I know once it happens, it will be fine. And I'm taking off that Friday and that following Monday to like have time to do it, so it'll be fine. I'll have more than enough time. So the only like pop culture or like event that I have on my notes is Gypsy Rose being freed from prison and her rise to influencer status out of like I think it was one day she got 14 million followers on TikTok.
No, I knew as soon as she'd get released from jail, she's gonna be set for life. Sorry. She's gonna be released from prison.
No, I just need to remind people like this wasn't like a casual thing she got arrested for. And I know she was a victim and it was horrible and whatever. But I don't know. I have kind of a few opinions on her superstardom from all of this.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. I
mean,
with the show, she for sure gets royalties from. She's going to go on all over the Today shows, all the things. People want to know how she's going to live outside of prison, what she's going to do, who she is now.
Yeah.
Like, people are so interested in her story. And, like, the way that true crime is these days is, like, you never see them come out of prison. Like, this is, like, one of the first times that, like, we didn't watch her go to prison realistically. Like, we only saw it after she was already in prison. They made the documentary and they had all the things, and like that only came out 2 years ago. So like it's so fresh for people, and to now be on the other side of the true crime whatever is like so new. And it not being like some extremely like wealthy person that they already had like I don't know, like fucking Lil Wayne, like went to jail for drugs, and then he's in prison for a couple of years, and he gets out, and he's still Lil Wayne, still rapping. Right. This is a whole other scenario. This is an average person who did have a really fucked up situation, but still average person. People didn't like, wasn't to that capacity, right? Goes to prison for plotting to murder her mother. Does, escapes, gets caught, obviously, and now it's like, oh, she's out? How's she going to live life? How's she going to acclimate? What's going to happen? What's going on? Like, I don't know. So I think it's like the first time that us as a society is like, we're so invested. Right. Like, how's it going to go?
Yeah. Have you watched any of her like interviews?
Oh, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Every single one. Because I'm interested.
Yeah. I'm interested, but I'm also like, so I don't know if like everybody knows this, but so she was... Because the crime was committed in Missouri, she obviously like was in Missouri prisons, and in the Missouri like legislative system, they don't have God, what's it called? It not assisted to murder, but like God, I can't think of it. Like she didn't go to jail for the harshest term. that she could have had because it was in Missouri and they don't have that precedent there.
Yeah.
So if she was in any other state, she would have actually gone to jail for murder. But because it was in Missouri, she didn't. So she went to jail for like some other charge. I don't remember what it was. But because of that, she didn't have a life sentence, even though in any other state she...
But he did.
I know, because he actually committed it.
Yeah.
But because she didn't do the act itself, she didn't. But in any other state, she would have had the same sentence as he did.
Yeah.
Basically. And so that's another thing that, like, she's been on her, like, press tour, like, talking about and being like, well, I technically didn't commit murder. And it's like, yeah, but in Missouri. And in, like, in any other state, like, I know she didn't do it, but, like, at some point, I think it is kind of a bit like, I don't know. It's just scary because it's like she convinced somebody to kill her mom.
Okay, but this is the thing, though. Like, I would look at it more as like a self-defense thing as to why she did it. Because, like, you were literally being told that you have all of these health issues, being pumped with drugs, and like, being forced to not walk or eat or do all these crazy things. No, she's totally
a victim.
Like, I feel like at some point it's like a self-defense thing. Like, whether it was, and for her, the only thing that she knew to do was like, if her mom wasn't there anymore, she could live a life. And like, that's being so sheltered as she was, like, genuinely, if that's the only thing that you know, that's her only self-defense. Yeah. So I think that's also why, like, for her sentence and everything, like, it's a totally different thing. Like, I mean, time is going to tell if she's actually a murderer or like has these actual tendencies. That's like all you're going to know when she's in society. But truly, I mean, at some point, like, that's defense. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it is as well. But I also think, like, and I know, like, abuse victims too, like, they don't have, like, it's not like an easy, like, you can't just like call the police and the police are like, okay, we'll get you out of there and you never have to worry about it ever again.
Well, also because it was like super public with inside of like Make-A-Wish Foundation and stuff like that, like, she had all these problems. So like, if she would have called the cops, like, they would have never believed her because it's like, well, you have cancer and you have this, and like Make-A-Wish, like, there was like so much against her, like, her word. Yeah,
totally. But she didn't ever even try. And so that's where I'm kind of like, it's not like she'd like exhausted all options of like trying to get out of it. And
I mean, it's not like she didn't, like, she kind of got beat when she did try to retaliate.
Yeah, but she never asked for help outside of.
How could you?
Well, she had access to the internet and a phone. You know what I mean?
She wasn't supposed to at night though without her mom. Like, based off the documentary.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, based off, like, she wasn't supposed to, and not that she couldn't have at those moments, but like, I don't know. I feel like I've never been in a situation, especially with family, where like I felt the need to have to like go behind their back or like get away from a scary situation. But like, I have a very close friend whose mother was abusive, like insanely abusive, and so was her stepfather, and like, her leaving that house in that situation honestly was almost as similar to that. Like, obviously, like, she didn't kill her actual mom or anything. She's not like that, but like, that's almost how she had to act. Yeah. Was like, she was going to kill her mom and that's how she was going to get away. Yeah. And like, it was like a whole secret and a whole plot and a whole plan for her to leave. And like, I don't know. So like, not being in that situation, I don't know, but like, also then knowing her situation of it, like, how intense it had to be for her to leave, like, I don't know. I'm not saying that like it's fun that she murdered her. That's what I'm saying. Or like convince somebody. But like, I think it's crazier on the guy's part to have been convinced to murder the person. Yeah. Because like, he had no reason to actually kill her.
Right. Well, but that's also like, and I'm like not trying to say like she is or isn't a good person, whatever. I'm like literally just like having conversation about it. So I don't want this to sound like I'm like anti-Gypsy Rose. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm trying to do here. But he is like highly autistic, like mental illness, all these things. So I feel like if there were to be a person to be manipulated into doing that, he was kind of the prime candidate for it. And like in these interviews after her release and whatever, it's like when they ask about like, well, now that Nick is, you know, in life for this, like, do you have like any like sense of guilt or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And her responses have just been interesting. Like, she kind of just throws it all onto him instead of, like, not that she hasn't taken accountability, because, like, obviously she was in jail or in prison. So, like, that's literally taking accountability. Like,
yeah,
she pleaded guilty. But I just think it is kind of interesting that she's now been given this huge platform, which is great for victim advocacy, but it's also like, I don't know. We'll see.
But my thing about it would be like, for her, this was years ago.
Yeah.
Like, this was literally years ago of her life. And like, she's had a lot of probably time to reflect and think about it and think about the situation. And like, her answers aren't going to be, she doesn't have a fucking PR team. She like literally was in prison. And before that, she was essentially in prison her whole entire life.
But she does have a PR team because she's been filming this documentary for like 6 years or whatever.
Right, but there's a difference in being like fucking Brianna Chicken Fried and having to give an answer versus Gypsy Rose, who has essentially never been a human in actual life.
Yeah.
Ever. Not even as a child. So like, there's a whole other like thing is what I'm trying to say. Like for her, it's not like she's like coached up to be like, this should be your answer. And like her actual like reflection of all of it is so different. And like her forgiveness of herself and her mom and Nick and the whole situation.
Yeah.
Or hatred towards it.
Yeah.
Has already been so past. And now as a human, having to relive it for hundreds of thousands of people all of the time.
Yeah.
Because us as individuals are so invested, which is wrong. But also at the same time, like, that's just the way society is, right? Like, social media culture, it just makes it that way. So, like, she has to relive everything that she's already have, like, forgiveness in her heart for, like, herself and the whole situation. So, like, I can't also imagine, like, giving a good answer because you're like, this was me, like, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, me, like, brain has passed this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a whole other person.
Yeah.
But now I have to go back to that place and be like, oh, yeah. These are my feelings. These are my thoughts. Like, I feel like I would not be able to answer that correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's all pretty interesting because, like, I get, like, this is an easy way to make money because you've just...
Well, she's not going to really be able to make money any other way.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's, like, it makes sense that she's, like, making her documentary and like doing all these things and doing the press tours and everything, like, totally makes sense. But it's also just like, I don't know, like, I guess we'll see what happens from all of it. But I just think it's so like what's the word, dystopian, like the way that we're like entertained by it all, you know, like,
for sure,
like it's like the worst thing that could ever happen to somebody. It's like everybody's just eating
well
it up.
This is the thing too. I think that, like, you know, because of like true crime being like a big thing for us to all love, but also I think for people who have never been to prison, it's super interesting to learn about it. Like, so for her to like now she's gonna probably do a lot of like prison reform type work, and she's gonna get into like a whole probably like different side of it once this all dies down about her. I think she's gonna get into a whole other different side of like the way she takes her career, to be honest with you, because she literally lived in a prison for years, and I'm sure that she has a lot of things that she would like to have changes for, whatever.
Especially Missouri prison. God, I cannot imagine that.
I feel like, you know, people want to know those things. Like you and I, like, I find that shit so interesting. When people are like, yeah, I was in prison for 15 years and these are my stories. I'm like, yeah, tell me.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that show. What is it? God, something Locked Up or something like that. And it's like they just like kind of follow the inmates around. And it's like reality TV.
That shit's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
so
talk
like,
through the toilets
so
and
it's not,
shit.
So like for her, it's not even just like the story that she has. It mainly is. But then it's also like that other like aspect of it. Like, there's so many things that people are just like interested in knowing and learning about. Like about her and the situation. I don't know. I find it really interesting. I do think that like a lot of the interviews that she's doing are like extremely heavy. Like some of the ones that I've like seen, the questions that they're asking her are like back to back to back. I'm like, I don't know if I could sit there and be like grilled like that. Truly.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just like it will go from like, yeah, so what's the first technology that you used when you left prison? Then it's like, so do you regret killing your mom? It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying,
the
like,
interviewers, I'm like, oh my god, chill.
Yeah, no, like they're not beating around the bush at all. At all. Like I couldn't imagine being her and being like having to sit there and be grilled like that.
Yeah.
Like,
have you watched her Lifetime, like her own documentary
Yeah.
that like came out like a week ago or whatever?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that one yet, but I saw a clip on TikTok, and it was like this mom talking to her daughter about it, and the daughter's just like recording it. The mom didn't know, and so she was doing like talking about the whole like relationship part and her like meeting Ryan, is that his name? And like them talking back and forth, and like Gypsy being like, I guess like he didn't know until like the last couple days before their like marriage that like all these other guys had been like messaging her and whatever. And it was just like so funny because the mom was like, yeah, and then she just keeps going on and on and on, and I'm like, why the fuck are you talking about all this and like telling us all your relationship issues right before you get married and like da 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 da. And I'm like, I think the girl just like as much as we all need therapy, I'm like, I feel like this is just like a therapeutic thing for her, this like documentary. It's just like everybody's spoken for me, so now I can finally just like kind of say whatever I want.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so I feel like this whole, I mean, even
also
her,
being on Lifetime, I'm like, this is so annoying because like
her
I can't
first
watch
thing was
it
on
anywhere.
Lifetime, but on Hulu you can.
The new one?
Yeah, they have Lifetime on Hulu.
I couldn't find it on there.
Anyway, she like, what was I gonna say about that? I forget because my brain is not with me.
I do think it's interesting though. I think this is interesting for anybody when it comes to like getting married while you're in prison, and like that whole thing to me is so just like foreign because I just don't get it. Well, but as like a pedestrian human to just like reach out to somebody in prison and be like, I'm a fan and like I'm, you know, whatever, here's where I'm from, and then like to, I don't know if he did that in pursuit of a relationship or just did it to just say hi, like regardless, like that's just so crazy to me of like taking that step and like reaching out and sending like fan mail.
That's so,
you know what I mean? Like it's so weird.
Well, like they don't really even know each other. Like I mean, I guess you can have a conjugal visit, but like was she able to? Like
probably not with her sentence.
That's
you know what I mean?
Like, I mean, like she also could have been like a good inmate too. And
then, like,
received stuff too. But like, I don't know. I just
also like I feel like I would have waited until I got out of prison to actually get married.
Yeah, that's what her family was saying, that they wish she like would have just waited to marry him. Mm-hmm. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Like she did.
He was trying to lock her down as soon as possible.
Dude, like her post when she was like, everyone's coming at my baby, blah blah blah. But he's
got that fire D.
Wait, I gotta go read it.
I'm sorry, like, and this is no hate on him, but like,
he don't got no fire.
He does not have fire D.
You've just never had fire D.
He doesn't have fire D, girl. There's no way.
No, because she don't know.
I know.
She just, she don't know at all. But she posts so much shit, though. It's insane. Ew, her ring is what it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's like a teacher. No offense, but like his salary is just not going to be that high.
I want to see. My husband gave me this beautiful ring on our first wedding anniversary. As dazzling as it is, this ring also bears special significance as it's passed down from his mother. I'm kind of a dick for that. Kind of a dick for that.
Well, his mom's ring was ugly, so. Okay, also here's my thing about like
Did you see that she's getting kicked out of Louisiana?
Why?
Is that where she is at, or where has she been?
I think they went back to Louisiana because that's where he lives.
Yeah, no, like she's been kicked out of there because of like their safety. Like they just feel like people are gonna be like crazy, and like she was like,
well, that's my thing. Okay, this goes back to the whole social media thing. I feel like going from that to like an influencer is kind of insane because it's like she was in jail like when the first iPhone came out. So like she hasn't even had like, you know what I mean? She doesn't even understand like how that world works. And I saw this TikTok clip of her like PR girl or her marketing girl or whoever works for her being like, oh, like, oh, we're doing a get ready with me. And she was like, oh, like, what's that? And then she was like, do you know who Alex Earl is? And she was like, no. And so she was sitting there showing her Alex Earl videos and explaining to her like what a get ready with me is as she's like getting her hair and makeup done from like Good Morning America or whatever. And like she's like, so are we gonna post this whole like, because I guess it was the whole process, they were just filming it the whole time, and she's like mic'd up and it was like an hour 45 minutes. She's like, oh, do we just post the whole thing? And they're like, no, we'll just chop it up into like a 30-second video. And she was like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not the one driving the boat on her social media, like, obviously, but for good reason, because like I cannot imagine like being in a world that like isn't accelerating with technology and then being like thrown into it and be like, you have 14 million followers, and you're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like she went to jail like during like MySpace time. Yeah. Early Facebook, and to come out and it's like TikTokers, like I would be so like it would be so overwhelming.
Yeah, a little yes and no, because it just depends on like the accesses and what she had. Like I also don't know, was she in federal prison or just like state prison?
I don't know,
because if she was in federal prison, they have a lot more like leeways, they have more technologies, they have more accesses to like real world things than like the state prisons.
Yeah.
So it just depends on like what she had, because there's like whole other levels, and then also depends on like which one she's in, because like one prison to the next prison, they don't have the same like accessibilities to things, and then it's like her restrictions, but like I don't know, like, so she could like she probably still knows what those things are. Like, she knows what TikTok is and whatever, but like using it and actually like
or going on it and seeing like edits of you of like not thirst traps, but there's so many edits of her like that are like basically thirst traps. Like I don't know how else to explain them, because it's like music and like pictures of her and being like, she's so pretty and like da 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 da. I cannot imagine going on TikTok for like the first time and just seeing yourself on other videos that people are posting. Like that would just be so like overwhelming and like mind blowing. Going back to like she had to leave for her own safety, of like all of these people know so much about you without you telling them anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's just so crazy.
That's true.
Also, Missouri, get rid of those fucking striped jumpsuits. They still have those to this day.
I feel like it's kind of giving Anna Delvey in a sense of like,
no, 100%.
The way she's gonna go from like 0 to 100 of like, it's just not real. Like life isn't
on Call
real.
Her Daddy.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm waiting for. Is like her, like she was on that Vale, whatever the fuck his name is from The
Nick
Bachelor
Vale,
or whatever. Yeah, she was on like that podcast. But I'm just waiting for her to go on like a Call Her Daddy, like where Alex Cooper posts is like exclusive Gypsy Rose. It's like dun, dun, and then it's like all this shit, the hype video or whatever leading up to it. I'm just waiting for that.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah, everybody keeps being like, go on Trisha Paytas' podcast.
That'd be hilarious, dude.
That would just be too much in one room, like energy wise. Trisha, like, and Gypsy Rose. Oh my god, I cannot imagine.
No, but I feel like Gypsy doesn't have the same personality as Trisha. Like it would just clash.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it would not work. Like Trisha would be like, oh my god, so like, what was the food that you ate in prison? And she'd be like, can we talk about like victim advocacy? And Trisha would be like, totally. And like it would just be all over the place. But I don't know. We had to talk about that because it's literally not my whole For You page, but a lot of it. It's just been
I
videos.
feel like I see it at least like once or twice a day.
And yesterday I was like on YouTube watching clips from like all of her interviews on like the E interview, the Good Morning America, and then the ABC one or something.
It's interesting though, because like when Adnan Syed got out of prison.
Yeah.
Like the one that was like from what was that podcast called?
Serial.
Yeah, that was like a huge thing that he got out of prison too. But like he just left prison.
Yeah,
like he didn't capitalize it on the way that like Gypsy Rose did. Like, and people are just as invested in that story as the Gypsy Rose story. But like her hype of like her documentary and like the way that the PR is like team is like together to like do all of this shit for her.
Well, because I feel like the difference though between Adnan and Gypsy is like Adnan is an example of the failures in our system and the racism in our system.
That's true.
And Gypsy is an example of the best possible case scenario.
That's true.
For somebody who like essentially committed murder to just get out. And she's white and she's a woman and she was a victim. So people are invested. Where Adnan was like the whole industry and the whole like prison system and everything tried to act like they were like, oh, our bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry for keeping you for, what was it, 23 years or something? Sorry. Oh, we got it wrong. Our bad. Like, where Gypsy, it was like, not everything worked in her favor. Obviously, like, I'm not trying to say it was good or bad. She had a horrible life and whatever. But Adnan was like, he got the short end of the stick on everything. So him being released, he was probably just like, fuck you, fuck everybody. Like, the world sucks. And I am the prime example of like, people hate certain types of people. And this is proof. And
That's
it's
true.
so unfortunate. But his friend's sister, Rabia Chaudhry, who was like a huge advocate for Adnan the whole time he was in there. She is also like a lawyer and she does like a ton of podcasts and stuff. And she was part of Serial and like all the stuff. She's like just the coolest woman ever. And like, if you're ever needing like actual informative true crime stuff that isn't just about like entertainment, like her podcasts are great. But she was like the one really fighting to get him out of there the whole time for 23 years or whatever. And so she was pretty vocal about it. And she's big on social medias and stuff too. So not that she's been platformed because of it, but kind of. But I feel like he just is like, I just want to fucking go to McDonald's and like watch TV and not like, I cannot imagine. Because just the shit I've heard about prison, how just like chaotic it is all the time, and like you just can't ever just relax. I can't imagine doing that for so many years.
It really just depends. I mean, it's a huge structure. That's the one thing about prison. It's structured, like not to your structure, to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But it really just depends on, again, what you're in. If you're in federal, if you're in the state, like
but I mean, he was in there for murder.
I know.
So like it was like the worst of the worst.
Well, but the thing is,
treatment wise,
it still is like two totally different worlds, murder or not. Like two totally different worlds as far as like prisons go. Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah. Just interesting. Been, so I don't plan to go either.
Not on purpose.
Yeah. The only thing I think I could ever get arrested for would be like forgetting to pay my taxes or something. Yeah. Like I could totally see myself, and like not even meaning to, like I just get like I get pulled over for a speeding ticket and they're like, oh, there's a warrant out for your arrest right now. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, it says you've been avoiding the IRS. And like, I feel like that's what would bring me in. Or like I got like a ticket for something and they sent it to me in the mail, but I just never checked my mail. And so I never paid the ticket. And so now there's a warrant out for my arrest.
That's actually funny that you say this, because there's one guy that I work with, and he went home the other night, like, so it was a couple months ago now at this point, but he was driving home from work. Actually, not even work. He was just drunk. He went somewhere, oh,
good.
It wasn't work.
He was drunk driving.
Yeah, but he got pulled over, right? And he had a warrant out for his arrest for something from years ago. So he's still in jail.
What?
He's still in jail right now. Until he has his new hearing in the end of February.
They didn't have bail?
Because he had a warrant for his arrest.
Oh my God. And so he's technically evading arrest or whatever and fleeing. Uh-huh. Oh my God.
From years ago. But
for what?
He had to appear in court.
Does he know?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Or do you know?
I just not know. But apparently he had to appear in court years ago. And he never did.
Have you been called for jury duty before?
No.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Knock on motherfucking wood, because.
Yeah. I feel like for me, if I got called for jury duty, I
want it to be big. I want it to be something crazy.
I don't, because you're fucking locked in for 3 months of just isolation, and you can't talk or go on social media or whatever, depending on the case. But I know so many people who have gotten called in, but like they can't do it because of X, Y, or Z reason, or like they know somebody who knows somebody. And I'm like, damn, that would never be me because my circle is so small and I know literally nobody. I feel like I would have to do it. But I feel like my luck, it would be like something dumb.
Like traffic court?
Yeah, something like that. Or like I don't even know. What do you have to go in front of a jury for? I feel like that's pretty, right? Like that's decently big if you're going in front of a jury.
Not necessarily, because like my mom was on jury duty where it's only been like a day.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it would be what like you would need a jury, that you couldn't just have like a judge kind of thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. Anyways, let us know. Have you ever served on jury duty? And if so, how did it go? Yeah, I hear you get free food.
Not good free food.
Right, but I mean, hey, beggars can't be choosers.
And they give you gas money too. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Get that gas stipend, baby.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Society 7. My name is Kelly K. You can find me at Kelly K on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And I'm Emily. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Starnsy. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram as well. We're at Society97.pod. And you can also follow us on TikTok, where we are at Society97pod, where we post clips from the show.
And you can check out our YouTube channel, where we post vlogs and fun videos every single Tuesday, and the video version of the podcast every single Friday. So make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and see your beautiful faces over there. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.